Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to give you guys a highlight video from Corepunk. This is going to be a sponsored video, but I have played this game a bit on stream. It has very recently come out in early access as of November 26th, and you are able to play the game, and if you do wish to do so, please make sure to use my link in the description below. So what is Corepunk? Well, it's an open world MMORPG, but the way that I like to look at it is like, it's also kind of like a MOBA in a way, but it's also kind of like an action RPG in a way. It combines these elements in a unique way to deliver what they try to call a classic MMORPG experience. But what I like to call, it's like, what if your game of MOBA never ended? So it took me a little bit to get used to the controls, but apparently the controls for the game are, for combat anyway, are very much like a MOBA. So people who have played a MOBA, they absolutely instantly have full control of their character. Your character exists among all the others, and they do try to have this like classical MMORPG experience. But it's through kind of like the lens of like a MOBA game. So it's kind of a unique combo in that sense. Now the game might seem a little bit slow-paced at first, but that's because they're trying to hone you into that classic experience. You know, every quest matters. Every item matters. Harvest those items. They actually have an emphasis to keep early game loot actually relevant throughout the game. There's that element of scarcity, and it's very cool. They're trying to bring this nostalgia back into the what was once the golden age of MMORPGs with the same charm and excitement found in the classics. Now, the content is going to be delivered. It's going to be episodic, delivered in seasons. They have tons of narrative quests. So like if you actually pick up a quest or you just want to talk to an NPC, you'll notice that every single one that you interact with is fully voiced, and they have storytelling, and they actually have a little bit of dark humor in there in some cases. They have their own charm as well. 18 plus for that, by the way. It is pretty interesting. Of course, this question always comes up. Well, how does it work? How do they make money? Well, there's no pay-to-win elements. It is a buy-to-play model. So that's why I have my link below. If you want to get early access, you can do that right now. Early access began on November 26th. So when you're watching this video, it's still super early. So it's still a great time to get into it, check it out, and see what it's all about. The game store is solely based on cosmetics. They have a store, but there's no like pay to win in there. They want to respect players' time that they invest in the game, building up their character. And again, like even things like getting materials in the very first few levels, they want those to remain valuable throughout the game. They want to kind of respect the time that you put into the game, actually playing the game. You know, your journey through the game is supposed to be different than those that others experience. But of course, you can play with other people. There is some PvP in the game. I haven't quite reached that stage myself, but it is certainly a pretty interesting package that I thought would certainly appeal to some of you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. But on the other, there are a lot of things that you could do with builds. So let's talk about that real quick, because that's my soft specialty. So right now, there will be much more to come in the future, but right now you can play one of 6 different classes. Now, each different class actually plays very differently. Not only do they have like a different starting kit, but they acquire different skills, and you have the ability to change them up, and you have the ability to kind of, use the journey that you have through the game to kind of adapt different additional elements to your character. So why don't we jump into the game right now, and I can show you what those are. So this is my guy here. I know I'm level 5, guys, right? But I've actually played for several hours. Leveling does take some time. It is considerate. You do get a lot of stuff as you go through the game, as you saw with harvesting. A lot of the stuff that you get through harvesting is actually pretty rare and is used on one hand to complete some of the quests that you pick up, and you can actually use them to craft different things. So they have like mining, logging, herbalism, butchery, mysticism, weapon crafting, construction, alchemy, and cooking. And these are like all the different professions, and you can basically be adept in all of them. on a character that you choose. But of course, with your time put into the game being the limiting factor, of course you have to choose which one's more important. The early set of quests basically has you interact with kind of like the first village, where you get like the intro to the different professions and the different characters and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of like the entry level of crafting. So you do need to do that. We don't need to do that, but it's definitely worthwhile to engage with the NPCs, because the quests are actually really cool. They're very flavorful, and you can kind of play in a way kind of like a soft tutorial in a game to kind of learn the basics of each of the different professions and basically what you are going to gain from them. Now, when you level up, you are going to get most of your experience from doing quests, and these quests are certainly just as rewarding as any. You will basically get a point to level up one of your skills. So basically right now I'm playing kind of the ranger, and I have net shot, and I have arrow rain, and I have a stance switching. So I have hunter stance, and I can have barrage stance. You saw in the intro there, when I fire my bow, it actually goes to multiple targets at the same time. Now the damage is not split, so if there's more than 2 targets, the barrage stance actually like significantly more damage, and I'm currently invested in barrage stance because, well, I'm a ranger of sorts when I play MMORPGs, so I thought I would try my best to pull larger packs of monsters and try to AoE them down with my stance. So as I leveled, I put 1 in net just to see what it was like, 1 in arrow rain, and 1 in the stance, and then another 1 in the stance, and then another 1 in the stance to kind of see how it improves. And there is some noticeable improvement through that. When you get to level 6, you unlock the ability to put a point in your ultimate. For Ranger, the ultimate is Saltation, which is kind of like a jump back big shot. Now these things have pretty long cooldowns if they're an active ultimate, but one of the other coolest things that I've seen is actually the Shaman. This guy right here, the Shaman King, is another player just wandering through the game. So he has a wolf following him. At level 6, the Shaman actually unlock a wolf companion, so you can actually get like pets, like minions away in this game. I don't know the in and outs of all the different classes at this point, but they definitely seem very different. They play very different. I can leave that for you guys to explore. I can, however, show you that there is more than just the class at face value. As you level, when you first get to level 5, you basically get to choose a specialization, and there's quite a few of these specializations, and one that actually suits pretty well for me because I kind of like playing solo in a lot of these games. Even though it's an MMORPG, I like to play alongside some of the other players. It does allow you from many different options, and even though I'm a Pathfinder, I selected this version of Pathfinder. The base Pathfinder ability is to get health regen. 2% health regen is really, really good. It allows you to kind of just roll through the monsters and just pull pack after pack, so you don't have to like consume food in between to kind of regenerate your health. And Lone Wolf, when there's no allied character nearby, the character gains 10% increased damage. I thought that was pretty good. You can specialize into further healing, and as you level up, you choose between the 3 specializations to essentially come up with the character that you want to play. So, and again, the playstyles are pretty different. Pathfinder is actually considered extremely powerful, but again, it is limited to being a solo played character. And if you really enjoy the game, you can make another character. You can have as many characters as you want on an account. So you can play one for like kind of tailored towards solo play. You can have one tailored throughout group play, and you can invest that character into things that make it more powerful in group play, and you can unlock further specializations. So you see that these is a full list of specializations. I just picked Pathfinder as my first, but I can pick a different one when I get level 10 and a third one when I get to level 15. There's also a weapon mastery system. I don't know the in and outs of it, but I do know that basically you can quite heavily customize the different abilities on your character, and this also includes kind of like the class passive. So I didn't mention that here because you basically always have it. It's this harpoon arrows. So once you attack the same target several times, the arrows actually kind of like stick in the target, and if I press T, I basically explode them. So it does damage, and it's actually quite a lot of damage, at least in the early game. Well, that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed my intro. Again, if you guys are interested in checking out the game, it is playable right now, and I would appreciate if you use my link in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.